Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. So obviously I'm still figuring out the lighting situation, blah blah blah. Nobody cares, but I'm gonna say it because there's someone in the comments who is gonna care, and here we are. I don't know what's up with this, but it's definitely better than what is to my side over here. This man watches me sleep. So today I wanted to talk about Russell Simmons. Now if you don't know who that is, it's Kimora Simmons' husband. Kimora Simmons is known for her creation that is baby fat. It was all the rage back in the day in my youth. I don't know about you guys. I know that in the States it was a big deal. Even where I lived in Europe, it was a big deal. But regardless, it was one of those brands that was just an iconic statement of the time. Things have come out that are absolutely, in my opinion, devastating, but that are worth talking about because there are things that deeply enrage me here, and we're gonna get into that. Russell Simmons blasted by ex Kimora Simmons and daughters. Enough is enough. We won't be bullied or threatened or afraid, Kimora Simmons wrote via Instagram on Monday. Now, to be clear, this article was posted June 20th. I haven't found much that's come out since then. Just one day after Father's Day, Russell Simmons appears to be at the center of a massive family feud. On Monday, the Recordings executive shared an Instagram story that seemed to target his ex-wife, Kimora Simmons. Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why they had to fight at all, the post read. Now I have to say, to me, this is a little bit of a self-own, and it's a little bit ridiculous because it's like, okay, he himself said, ask mothers why they had to fight at all. So obviously every situation is different, so on and so forth, but the reality is, if she doesn't want you to see the kids, probably something happened. Now, obviously, there are outliers, as in mothers who have something against the fathers, so they're taking it out on the children. There are plenty of fucked up situations, granted. But it's also like, are you not asking yourself at all why the mother of your children is like, you know what? I don't want my children to see their father, because I don't think that's an easy decision to make, and even the most fucked up people, I don't think make that decision super lightly. So if they decide that you shouldn't be seeing your children, I think it's not necessarily a you problem, but you should consider that it could be a you problem. So I'm just gonna leave that there. It just seemed kind of ironic to me because it's like she's trying to protect her kids. Ask yourself why they need protecting from you. Simmons, 48, took to her Instagram story to share details behind the family tension where she lobbed serious allegations against the father of her two children, Ming Lee, 23, and Aokis Lee, 20. I'm so sorry to have to do this, she wrote, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. I'm hearing so much more now. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. Leave my kids alone, she continued. This narrative of attacking the only caregiver, the only parent in the home with the kids, the mom, and the kids for one's own shortcomings and embarrassments is dead. 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 The model also accused Russell of being abusive to the women in his life. The same abusive-ish, she wrote. This is how you maneuver with women all around you. Your threats and lies and intimidation maneuvers and tactics are sad. Stop it, please. Your own flesh and blood. Enough is enough. 18. 18. I'm just gonna stop on that because let us realize how many fucking people that is. 18 women have previously accused Simmons of sexual misconduct. He denies all accusations. A rep for Kimora Simmons did not immediately reply to people's request for comment. I think I'm about as cynical as you can get for a lot of things. That's something I'll talk about in therapy. If there are 18 women, it's really hard for me to imagine that all of these 18 women are bullshitting. You know, if we're gonna go down that route, because typically that's the route they go down, right? They say, oh, all these women are making up their stories. This isn't true. I don't know them, blah, 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 which whatever, we're not going to get into that. You have 18 separate people that are saying that you've engaged in sexual misconduct, in abusiveness, in a variety of things. I don't know what each claim is. How do you pretend that's not related to you? How do you pretend that's just them trying to get revenge or trying, you know, whatever excuse people use these days? Aoki, who just graduated from Harvard, Love that for her. Backed her mom, posting a video of Russell appearing to yell at her over FaceTime to her Instagram page. She captioned it, "This is not someone who will accept help. This is just one screen recording. Sorry I don't always remember to press record when he calls my friends, my boyfriend, anyone to get a chance to threaten and curse and go crazy." She also shared screenshots of text messages between her and her father to her Instagram story where she said he'd harass her boyfriend and friends if she blocked him or took some space. In another thread posted online by Aoki, texts, seemingly from Russell, although a name is not shown, imply Aoki's mother has stolen money and the love of my kids as she promised. Aoki defended her mom in the messages, writing, "I'll never speak to you until you die. Don't ever say that again." In a separate, lengthy message to her father, Aoki wrote, "Every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I can't even respond to because I'm not involved. I am your child, not your lawyer, your ex-wife, any of it. I can do nothing. You yell at me like it's my fault." In another Instagram story, Aoki touched on the possibility of mental illness. "Some of us do think he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia," she wrote over a tearful photo of herself. "He really acts like he hates and does not know his children frequently." Aoki described how Russell used to be the best dad ever. Prior to his media issues, he was really the best dad ever and a great co-parent. "He and my mom were best friends," she wrote. "We all defended him against anything, and then he suddenly turned on anyone who will let him lash out. It's really just a terrifying change to watch," she wrote. A rep for Russell Simmons did not immediately reply to people's request for comment. Now, I think there's a lot to be said about all of this. I do think that my core central belief here remains the same, that whenever parents have a falling out, a divorce, whatever occurs, the fact that children are brought into it is deeply alarming to me. Now, granted, in some ways, I'm sure it can't be avoided, because even just with things related to, who gets the children full time, who gets them on weekends, what weekends, like, you can't ignore that, right? But the fact that children who are already in the spotlight to some degree have to deal with any of this, and it doesn't matter how old they are, to be clear. Like, obviously, if they're really young, they probably won't deal with it in the sense of they don't have social media, blah, blah, blah. But whether they're 12 or 24, obviously they're going to deal in different ways, and maybe a 24-year-old is more equipped to deal. But at the same time, no child is raised with that preparation. So the fact that even the children are being brought into it, for me personally, make it that I have a lot of difficulty to find empathy for Russell Simmons. And, if he does have mental health issues, if something is going on there, I respect that. But again, we return to our common thread of, if you have a mental health issue, much like I do, much like many people do, that can explain things, but it will not excuse things. So, and the thing that I think is really sad for me when I read these things is, okay, is this reparable, in the sense of all of this has occurred, and right now it's obviously horrible, but it's like, in the future, can I even see you being able to get over, quote unquote, everything that happened? Or is this relationship with your children just severed forever? Because I find that horrible, not really for him, because he's really not my priority, my worry here, but for the kids to just lose their dad like that, you kind of hope that's not the case. But at the same time, when things are dragged out like this publicly, if it were me, I would have a very difficult time just moving on from that. I don't know really how you get over that. Even if you go to therapy, it's like, okay, is this too big a wound to heal? So anyway, that's enough of me blabbering about it. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.